had specific thoughts when he spoke of Sri Govardhan. He said, quote, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by offering me the Govardhan Shila, offer me shelter at the Govardhan Hill. And by offering me the Gunjamala necklace, he offered me the shelter at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So we will continue. I just read that we read the other day. My dear devotees, this is Sachinandan Swami Maharaj speaking. We all have direct access to Giriraj, and we can pray to him to remove all wickedness from our hearts. He will then do something that will make our hair stand on end. Another important point in this verse is that if we want to experience Krishna with all his qualities, we can only do so by worshipping him through Srimati Radharani. Just like we cannot get the nectar honey directly from the flower, but only from the bees. So we cannot get the highest Ujjvala Ras without entering the camp of Radharani. So turn to Giriraj, and Giriraj will turn us to Radharani. In Radha's camp, we will find our good fortune and the honey of what Krishna consciousness is. She is the bee-like, topmost devotee of Krishna, who draws of all Krishna's honey, as well as his divine qualities that will flood our hearts when we become her servant. So what is the process of becoming a servant of Srimati Radharani? This is so sublime that it is a well-kept secret of our Sampradaya. It has to be kept confidential because we can make so many mistakes. In my personal practice, Sachinandan Maharaj says, I find we can go through Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is the combined form of Sri Radha and Krishna. The first step is forgetting all self-identification as an enjoyer. Be humble, be realistic, but know what anyone can become and yawn. After more than 40 years of practice, what works for me is changing the heart by association with a person, food, object, environment, and literature. Associate with high things, and your consciousness will become higher. In the Nectar of Instruction, verse number 4, in purport, Srila Prabhupada says, quote, in Bhagavad Gita 262, it is stated, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. One's desire and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associate with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. So yes, dear devotees, you can change. Raghunath Das Goswami says that he is wicked and dishonest, but can change with the association of Giridhari. Associate with affection, not with the computer, which I call a modern mind without a conscience. but associate with affection with the proper things, and they will transform you. So this is we should end here. And tomorrow we'll be reading the commentary by Bhakti Vigyana Goswami Maharaj on verse number 8. So now we will dwell in the life of Srila Prabhupada. We are on the volume number 4, I think chapter number 6. The remote corner of this remote corner of the world. Let me see, it's a new topic, or do we have to? Yeah, this is a new topic. Srila Prabhupada had so many centers in the US that to visit each one was not practical. During his year in India, many new centers had opened on the West Coast, in Florida, Texas, the Midwest, and the East. Prabhupada said he had more establishment than a wealthy businessman and more residences. Were he to stay at each of his houses, he couldn't visit them all in a year, and especially to Indian audience, he would cite the monthly expenditure for his centers. Though proud of ISKCON's growth, Prabhupada was never proud on his own account. He never considered using ISKCON for his own enjoyment. Whenever he visited a center, his quarter was usually an apartment arranged at the last minute, often fraught with annoyances like noisy neighbors and incompetent cooks. At 75 years, his constant traveling was hardly an arrangement for his health and comfort. Prabhupada never felt complacent over the small success his society enjoyed, nor would he claim the credit for that success. Rather, he said it was due to the mercy of his spiritual master and the previous spiritual masters. ISKCON still had but little influence in the world. People considered it a small, exotic religious sect. But by the blessings of the previous acharyas, it was growing. Prabhupada was initiating more and more disciples, and the potential was unlimited. One of Lord Chaitanya's chief followers, Jiva Goswami, son of Anupam Goswami, brother of Rupa and Sanatan, had warned that a spiritual master should not accept many disciples. Many neophyte disciples would bring suffering to the spiritual master. And that's true, we see in ISKCON. So many gurus are physically suffering due to the sins of their disciple. Yet on Prabhupada's US tour during the summer of 1971, he initiated more disciples than ever before. As Lord Chaitanya's empowered representative, he wanted to increase the number of devotees more and more. He was aware of the risk, but he was also aware of the great need. As he had written in the Nectar of Devotion as follows: the one point is that without increasing the number of disciples, there is no propagation of the cult of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, sometimes, even at a risk, a sannyasi in the line of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may accept even a person who is not thoroughly fixed to become a disciple. I remember one Mataji when I was president, and normally Guru Maharaj will ask my recommendation to accept him as a disciple. But there was a one instance when one of the black girl used to come, and I forgot her initiated name, but Gurudev called me and he said, "Look at this girl. Do you dare to go to any Christian church or Muslim mosque? This girl has given up her attachment with whatever faith she was born in. She comes to the temple. So I want to show my mercy to her, to accept her as a disciple." And I remember when Gurudev initiated, he requested 3 devotees that please make sure that you always stay in contact with her. That was Her Grace Guru Bhakti Mataji, Guru Priya Mataji, and Radha Krishna Prabhu. But I haven't seen her. Later on, by the mercy of such a bona fide spiritual master, the disciple is gradually elevated. However, if one increases the number of disciples simply for some prestige or false honor, he will surely fall down in the matter of executing Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada test of a prospective disciple's readiness for initiation was standard. The candidate must have followed the 4 rules and chanted 16 rounds daily for at least 6 months and have the recommendations of the temple president and local GBC secretary. Prabhupada accepted anyone who fulfilled these conditions, and he expected the disciple to remain sincere and true to the vow of initiation. We should just meditate on that. And that's the reason now when the new, whoever is close to me, I cannot give any advice to no one but who I have the affection for. And when they take initiation, I always tell them, keep a diary and write down all the emotions, the thoughts that pass through your mind the day of initiation. And then you can, up to 20 years, you can realize what was the mood the day of initiation. Have we maintained that? So it's very, very helpful. Despite Prabhupada's growing number of disciples, he intimately touched each of their hearts. Although a few disciples enjoy extended association with him, most of his hundreds of disciples saw him only from far. Some they didn't even meet Prabhupada. Yet, each of them was certain that Prabhupada was his own. Each could say, my spiritual master. Each could say Prabhupada and feel close to the dearest friend and well-wisher, the one who was saving them from death. And I read that in the scripture also, that when you name some spiritual personality, you can get that association just by remembering them. So this is another way to get the association of those that are not physically available to associate with us. They knew that Prabhupada was the direct representative of Krishna and the most empowered Acharya of Lord Chaitanya's message. Those who were sincere knew without doubt that their connection with Prabhupada was transcendental, not to be interrupted or limited by physical or geographical considerations. If they surrender to Prabhupada's orders, Krishna within their hearts would help them advance. If they were sincere, Krishna would help them become better disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I think in Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter or something, I read that even if you lose the faith in your spiritual master, but if you are sincere in your practice, Krishna will help you. So sincerity is required. And when we see we are not sincere, then what is the use of making these practices? We have to become very attentive to each detail. Haribol. The devotee's love for Prabhupada was not a vague sentiment. He was engaging them in Krishna's service. And they were directly experiencing the transcendental results. I don't know. When I get the message on our deity department every day, something is wrong, somebody did in the deity worship. And when I saw yesterday, the Achman spoon was broken. And I can't accept how ignorant devotees must be to break the spoon. And nobody tell them who broke it. They leave it broken spoon. That is another offense. At least if you make a mistake, accept it. Then Krishna will forgive you. Only a devotee, however, could understand Srila Prabhupada's personality or the depth of his disciple, attraction for him, or the depth they owed him. No wonder onlookers at the Detroit airport had not understood the apparently delicious devotees in the blissful reception of Srila Prabhupada. So we are starting the new topic. New York City, July 19, 1971. After Detroit, Prabhupada visited Boston and then flew to New York, where another large group of devotees had gathered. The New York Daily News covered his airport arrival with photos and an article, quote, Swami, how they love you, unquote. Bhavananda, the New York Temple president, had decorated the temple room of the Brooklyn Center with bright colors. Prabhupada's Vyasasana was a special creation of plates, stripes, and checks in fuchsia, lime, black, white, and red. Prabhupada liked it very much. 200 devotees, many having waited for more than a year to be initiated, converged on the Brooklyn Temple, and Prabhupada had held initiation for 5 consecutive days, initiating around 24 disciples each day. One after another, the young men and women would approach Prabhupada on his multicolored Vyasasana to receive their initiation beads and spiritual names. Those receiving the Brahmana initiation went one by one to Sri Prabhupada in his room and received the Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra need to be received from the mouth of the spiritual master to the right ear. And all in our ISKCON, at least that tradition is still current. So Madhumangal Prabhu is explaining this scene in his own word as follows. I went to Prabhupada's room and offered obeisances. Quote, come here, unquote, he said. So I went and sat close to him. He began teaching me the Gayatri Mantra, and I was looking up at him. The sun was right behind his head. He looked like a mountain, like the Himalayas, and I was like a mole, a stone. He was very big, and I seemed very insignificant. Riktananda is explaining in his word as follows. Prabhupada turned to face me, and his eyes seemed like limitless pools of an entrancing liquid. I knew he was focused always on Krishna, and his eyes were reflection of that happiness. He said something to me, and I said, no, sir. Saying sir to him seemed natural, and he seems to be happy that I said it. Then in a very clear, soft, steady voice, he began to teach me the Gayatri Mantra. Then he took the sacred thread and put it around my neck and across my shoulder, very gracefully and with such precision in his movement. Now, he said, you are a Brahmana. So Devi Shakti is expressing in her words her experience as follows. Prabhupada had the Gayatri Mantra written on a small piece of paper, and as he was teaching it to me, he had his eyes closed. I would repeat it word for word after him. And when he got to the third line, however, instead of saying Guru Devaya, he said the word from the fifth line. I didn't know whether to follow what he has said or just say what was on the paper. So I said what was on the paper, and then Prabhupada immediately realized what he had done and changed it. But I suddenly realized that the perfect chanting of mantras was not so significant. Prabhupada was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna. And although there may have been some apparent flaw in his pronunciation, he was perfect, regardless. I saw that the real perfection of devotional service was to follow Prabhupada. After I received my Gayatri Mantra, I asked Prabhupada if I could ask him some questions, and he said yes. Srila Prabhupada, I said, I haven't been able to serve you in rapt attention. What can I do to serve you? I was praying he would give me a special service to do for him personally. But the answer was, who wants to guess? Chant Hare Krishna was all he said. Is there anything more? I asked. He said, are you married? I said, yes. So he said, show your husband. So then I said, my husband and I don't get along. So he said, be a pujari. There are so many things. Very good. His answer seems to solve all my difficulty. First and foremost was to chant Hare Krishna. And in addition to that, there are so many other services. If you don't do one of them, then go on to the next one. There are so many things. When he said those words, it relieved all my anxiety. In New York, Prabhupada lectured gravely and authoritatively from Srimad Bhagavatam, stressing surrender to Krishna through surrendering to the Krishna conscious movement. Unlike any other Bhagavatam lecturer, Prabhupada was able to offer a movement, a society, and a way of life. Haribol, way of life. Our life should be changed according to the philosophy, way of life, that were fully Krishna conscious and that gave any interested person practical entrance into devotional service of the Lord. Haribol. Someone asks how a person who had been very sinful could be relieved of his karma. And Prabhupada replied simply, come and live with us. That's all. It is very difficult. Our student, they are living with us. You simply come and live with us and you are free from all karma. Is it difficult? Then do that. We shall give you food. We shall give you shelter. We shall give you nice philosophy. And if you want to marry, we shall give you a good wife. What do you want more? So come and live with us. That's all. Prabhupada stressed this same point in his lecture. If a person seeking spiritual fulfillment lived and served with the ISKCON devotees, even material fulfillment would come. Quote, these Krishna conscious boys and girls in 60 centers, they are living in the best houses. They are eating the best food. They are in the best consciousness. They have got the best hope, everything best. The future of the body is best. What material happiness do you want more than this? They have got wife, children, happiness, home, everything full. So material happiness is nothing to a Krishna conscious person. Material happiness will roll at his feet saying, please take me, please take me. There is no need of asking for it. Simply be steady and ask Krishna, please engage me in your service. Then your satisfaction will automatically come. Don't bother for material happiness. So we should end with a nice note. We are all Grihastha mostly, and we should learn how to apply this philosophy into our day-to-day life to become happy, to become peaceful, and become steady in our practices. That's what is required. So with those thoughts, before the devotee leave, we would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who is taking austerity to join every morning. It's not that easy in the family life, but Krishna is kind to all of us to facilitate our desire, to fructify, to attain the love of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Our Acharya says only one thing you do nicely, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You can attain the love of God. You don't need to do anything else. So this is what we need to become expert at, to dedicate our life. So with those thoughts, let me offer my humble obeisances by uttering the mantra. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च